Hey guys, it's Miki ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading an Izuku Midoriya X male listener. I'm so excited for this because I am like obsessed with Izuku Midoriya. I'm shifting solely for the purpose of meeting and dating Izuku Midoriya. Yeah, and what about it? I still haven't successfully shifted yet, but I'm trying my best, guys. I love Izuku Midoriya so much. Like, he is my heart and soul. He is equivalent to Tsukishima, and if you guys have been on this channel for more than like a day, you would know how much I love Tsukishima, so that's really impressive. But this is going on for like no reason here. This one is titled What Makes a Hero, and your quirk in this is light manipulation, so I don't really know what that's gonna do, but I guess we're gonna find out. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get right on into the video. It was silent. YN stood in his dorm room, pulling his fingers as he stared at his hero costume hanging on the wall. His head was filled with nothing but guilt, regret, and grief. He had been standing in the spot next to his bed by the door for hours, and he had been in his room for the past 2 days. The sound of ringing broke the silence that encased his room. YN turned to his phone to see a message show up and see who was calling him. Kiribati is what it read. YN squeezed his index finger as he watched the phone ring. Then it stopped. He sighed, but then it rang again. The same caller. YN went over to his phone, picking it up shakily and letting out a breath before powering it off, before going to the edge of the bed and sitting down. There was a knock at the door. YN squeezed his eyes shut. Last name, a voice came from the other side of the door. Go away, Ochako. YN breathed out. But last name you... Ochako tried to say before she was cut off again. I said go away, just please go away, Ochako. YN wheezed out as he squeezed his knees and arched over. Silence followed for a few seconds before he heard Ochako mutter okay, and begin to walk away. Silence came again. YN sat in that position for a few minutes before looking up to glance towards the dresser littered with framed photographs. His eyes were focused on one of his adoptive mothers. It was an old photo of the three of them together. In the photo was YN when he was about 9 or 10, wrapping his short arms around both of his mother's legs. He had a huge smile on his face, while Charlotte, last name, the woman on the left of him with short, wavy brown hair, cerulean eyes, beige skin, and looking down at him with a look of surprise. Ambi, YN, the woman to the right of him, who had semi-long, curly, tight amber hair, light brown eyes, and dark umber skin, looking down on him with a smile that rivaled his own. They died 2 years after that photo was taken while protecting YN's biological parents, who were the most successful, influential, and busiest people in the world. That photo is YN's favorite photo, aside from the one that was sitting right beside it. That was a photo of YN and Izuku Midoriya. It was 3 weeks ago at a carnival. It was their first date together after months of having an awkward friendship. The photo was captured while YN was mid-jump. However, you could make out the bright smile on his face, huge like the one that he had in the photograph before. His arms were stretched out towards Izuku's neck and shoulders. Izuku had his hand held out, holding a stuffed hamster, and was positioned to catch YN with a huge smile that rivaled his, though you could see the shock in his face. YN loved that photo because it always marked the moment that his huge crush marked the moment that the huge crush he had on his nerdy boyfriend turned into love. YN stood and walked over to the dresser, moving his eyes between the two photos. I'm sorry, Mommy. I'm gonna say Mommy, I feel like that's kind of weird. Okay. I'm sorry, Mom. YN whispered out. I'm sorry, Mom and Izuku. I've let you all down. YN laid on top of his bed in a fetal position, staring at the wall across from him. He was laying there for around 4 hours. Nothing but silence, with a few interruptions here and there. 3 people knocked on his door, all within that time frame, just to have entrance being denied to his room. He would only give them demands to leave. He would only give them demands to leave after the first knock, so the silence stayed. Then there was a knock, but this one was different. YN jolted out of his lying position, sitting up and staring at the door with teary eyes and shaky breaths. It was so familiar. The rhythm. It was one that he longed for, but also hoped never came. One he was happy to hear, but also devastated. No words would come out. Waya knew exactly who was on the other side of the door, but he was scared. He was afraid and happy, although his body was shaking in fear, and his chest was filled with heaviness. His heart was racing in anticipation, and his mind was bouncing back and forth between the emotion that he held and the emotion that has now sprung up. The man behind the door spoke. Wayan? Izuku spoke, and it was as if time had drastically slowed. Everything but the door grayed. Wayan, are you awake? Izuku knocked again. Wayan stood up and began pulling his fingers as he stared at the door. Izuku, Wayan breathed out. Wayan, are you okay? Izuku tried. I'm fine. Wayan stiffened as he squeezed his fingers. You should go. Izuku sighed and looked at the door, or looked at the floor with sadness, but then a look of determination came over his face. No, Wayan, he said firmly, and Wayan flinched. No, Izuku, you really should go. I can't. Wayan tried, but was cut off. I'm not leaving, Wayan. Izuku, I'm fine. No, you aren't. I know you're not fine. Wayan flinched again, surprised at Izuku raising his voice. Wayan stared down at the floor quietly. I'm coming in, Izuku stated. Wayan heard the door click open and then closed. He felt tears welling up in his eyes. Wayan refused to look up from the ground that he had trained his gaze upon. He couldn't look. He was just too afraid of what he might see. Wayan, look at me. Izuku spoke softly as he took a step forward. I can't. You can. No, Izuku, I can't. Yes, Wayan. Izuku took 2 more steps forward. You can. Wayan let out a shaky breath. Hesitantly, he lifted his gaze off of the floor and onto his beloved. It pained him. It pained Wayan to see what he had done to his love. Izuku stood, his left eye bandaged along with his fingers, left arm wrapped in a cast although his shirt hid it well. There were also bandages wrapped around his chest and stomach area. Wayan sat on his bed and looked away from Izuku, towards the wall that was decorated with a nightstand. None of this is your fault, Wayan, Izuku said softly as he walked over to sit next to Wayan. Look at you, Izuku. Look what I've done, Wayan said, his voice laced with sadness and regret. You did it, but it wasn't your fault. It wasn't on purpose. I know, but I still did it. I knew the limitations of my power. I knew what would happen, but I didn't stop any of it. I did nothing to stop myself. That isn't true, Wayan. There's nothing that you could do to stop it. I know you tried. I saw it, Izuku exclaimed as he grabbed a hold of Wayan's left hand. He held it firmly. You did everything you could until you couldn't anymore. Wayan shook his head in denial as he tried to pull his hand away from Izuku's, but his grip was firm, and he wouldn't let go. Let go of me, Izuku, Wayan choked out. Then look at me, Wayan. Look at me, please, Izuku cried desperately. It wasn't your fault. Wayan snapped his head and gazed into Izuku's eyes with a look of sorrow. You're wrong, Wayan cried out as he forcefully pulled his hand away from Izuku and stood up. It was my fault. You can't just defend me just because I'm your boyfriend. It was my quirk that did the damage. 746 people died, Izuku. 308 people were injured, all because of me. Can't you see it? I killed people. I hurt them in ways that they could never heal from. I can't control my quirk, and I had it since birth. I know all the consequences, but I still couldn't do anything about it. Tears overflowed from Wayan's cheeks as he yelled out desperately. Izuku furrowed his eyebrows, ignoring the pain that he felt. Wayan, I'm not wrong. You are. You're wrong for believing that you did anything wrong. Sure, you knew the limitations, but in a situation like that, what else could you have done? Don't beat yourself up over this, Wayan, please. Izuku felt tears welling in his own eyes at the state of his partner. Wayan put his hands on his head and closed his eyes in distress. Why can't you understand this is all my fault? Izuku, look at you. You're covered in injuries all because of me. Look at Aizawa-sensei. Look at the injured students all across the school. Even Endeavor and other pros. Look what it did to Toguro, Bakugo, Mineta, Ashido, Hagakure. To everyone that was harmed by me and my stupidity. Me ignoring everyone's safety and surpassing my limits. I'm not a hero. Over 1,000 people were injured because of me. YN's pain-filled rant was stopped when Izuku shot up from a seated position, grabbing both of YN's hands, while completely disregarding the immense amount of pain in his left arm. His chest and stomach from such, disregarding the amount of immense pain in his left arm, chest, and stomach from such a hasty action, pulling him close enough to the point where their noses were touching. And over 120 million people's lives were saved because of you, YN. You saved almost the entirety of Japan because of your actions. Not only did you take out 3 of the most powerful villains we've ever faced, but you destroyed every inch of their plan to destroy Tokyo and the organization that you are a part of. You're an amazing hero, YN. Izuku shouted angrily and passionately. YN just stared at Izuku's fierce eyes, not uttering a sound. He was completely taken aback. It was quiet as the two just stared into each other's eyes. Nothing, or neither of them daring to say a word, and ignoring the shuffling of the feet outside of YN's door. They stayed like that for a few more moments before Izuku let out a sigh. He pulled YN into the best embrace he could muster up now, He pulled YN into the best embrace he could muster now that he couldn't ignore the pain anymore. I'm sorry for yelling at you, Izuku spoke lightly. YN lowered his head into Izuku's shoulder. It's alright, YN whispered. Izuku sat down on on YN's bed, pulling him down onto his lap. Izuku and YN touched foreheads together as YN closed his eyes, tears silently streaming down his face and falling into Izuku's lap. Your quirk is light manipulation, Izuku began, and YN opened his eyes. It works well against quirks that deal with darkness or cold temperature. However, one of the drawbacks is that you cannot be encased in darkness for too long while your quirk is active, or that'll cause threads of light to spiral out of control to remove the darkness. You're also afraid of the dark, so when your emotions are added to the mix, your quirk goes berserk. But does that excuse the actions that I've caused? YN asked as he lifted his forehead from Izuku's. No, but it excuses why you caused it, YN. Yami L11? I don't know. Can manipulate any dark spaces. When you saw Kirishima get hurt, you turned your attention to him, moving the threats of light towards the direction and creating a shadow, and Yami was able to use that to encase you with it. For 3 hours, you were stuck in the dark with no help, all because you were too preoccupied. No help because we were all too preoccupied to help you. It couldn't have been avoided. But I knew what the villains were capable of. I knew what Yami was capable of, and I still went on the mission, knowing that I wasn't ready to face that level of power. Had it just not gone... YN, if you hadn't been there, we all would have died. Japan would have been destroyed. But the casualties... YN began, wiping the tears from his face. We're gonna be heroes, YN. We are heroes, okay? We must try our best to... We have to try our best to make sure that there aren't casualties, but sometimes it can't be avoided. There's many times where casualties happen, but YN, that's part of being a hero, okay? We're doing our best to protect everyone, but that isn't always what we can do. We just need to help them heal. You are a hero, YN. Izuku smiled up at YN, who just stared at him with teary eyes. Izuku... YN sniffed and embraced him once again. Izuku flinched from the pain, causing YN to mutter a quick, sorry. Thank you so much, Izuku. YN smiled, then he leaned down and pressed his lips against Izuku's. They shared a passionate kiss, pouring most of their emotions into it before pulling away. I have blood on my hands, and it's gonna take me a while to heal from that, YN smiled sadly. And that's why I'm here for you, YN. To help you. That's what we're all here for. All of us, to hold each other, or to hold on and help each other through our tough times, okay? I'll stand with you the whole way. They stared at each other with big smiles, the same ones that they held just 3 weeks ago at the carnival. You know, I truly do love you, Izuku Midoriya. Wyan said as he felt himself get warm from saying those words. Izuku chuckled. I love you too, Wyan. Wait, sorry, that's his nickname. Oops. I love you too, nickname. Wyan raised his eyebrow at the new nickname his boyfriend had just given him. Nickname? You're giving me a nickname? And something like that? Izuku chuckled nervously before rubbing the back of his neck with his hand. Well, I mean, it's just something I thought of quickly. Izuku mustered out. Wyan giggled. I like it. Wyan gave Izuku a quick peck on the lips, and the two had laid in bed and got comfortable snuggling up with each other. They shared a few kisses before drifting off to sleep. Stop it. That was one of the most beautifully written stories I've ever read in my life. And I actually think I did a decent job at the voice acting this time. I think I didn't do that bad. I think the voice acting was okay, so that's good. But that was so sweet. I love him so much. I'm not even joking. Like, literally, Izuku is so chef's kiss. But damn, y'all really saved all of Japan? Shit. Okay, I see you. Okay, let me chill out. Wow, you guys really just saved all of Japan though. I see you. Okay, anyways, let me end the video now because the story's over. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. And if you did like the video, make sure you like the video and comment up below some other characters you want me to do, and I'll try my best to do them for you guys. I am going to be posting a few more male readers because I found a bunch of them and they're really cool. I found this good one about Taichi that I'm going to post too. Oop. But yeah, okay, let me for real in the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you did, damn it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.